Well, friends, today we'll discuss about the concepts of free goods, economic goods, and public goods in our economics for everyone discussion. Okay. Now, what do you understand by the concept of free goods, economic goods, and public goods? Very interesting. Okay. Uh, Understanding this concept is very important uh, in the field of economics as it is applies to many other areas. Okay. uh, Now let us talk about uh, the basic definitions of this concept and come back to the examples. Free goods is a good that is so abundant that it can be had for a zero price. Okay, I'm saying no price. We assume that it is unlimited, available with no scarcity. Okay, so public good is a good that is non-rival and non-exclusive. By non-rival, we mean that the cost or the marginal cost of providing that good to an additional consumer is zero. By non-exclusive, we mean that people cannot be excluded from consuming the good. I'm saying in the sense that consumption of that good by a person does not limit or reduce the consumption of good by other person who have probably even not paid the price for it. Um, Economic good is a scarce good which commands a non-zero price. Okay. Now, today to discuss in detail, let us talk about the case where when I say an economic good or private good, we talk about you have to pay a price for it because there is a price attached to it, and it is exclusive unless public good because you have to pay a price to get it, and the consumption of that good by one person probably limits and reduces the consumption of others. A classic way of differentiating this example is, let us talk about a product, a good called water, good or services. Okay. Suppose let us take an example of a village which has got a pristine river water flowing, and people use that water for all the purposes and benefit from it. Here they do not probably pay any cost. Okay. Now it so happens that after some point of time, a factory is set up there to produce, let us say, soft drinks or pure water bottles. What happens here is probably the factory uses the water of the river and produces a soft drink which involves some cost of production and sells in the market at a market price. Here, water serves as economic good. Now, one of the issues here is either the people who are using the free good, public, the village, or the factory which uses it can probably consciously, unconsciously, over a period of time, because both of them get it as free. Okay, now can pollute it. Okay, and water becomes more scarce and scarce. So the scarcity makes it more of an economic good. What happens if the local government in the village, the set of people in the village come together to prevent the water getting polluted and a decent use at the same time usage of water at affordable way? Um so the local authority builds a recreational facility where they probably provide water recreation services like decorative fountain waters or boating services at affordable cost to the local people. Here you still end up paying a little bit price, but in the sense that there are people who walk around the waterways to see the colorful fountain of waters. You cannot prevent them from consuming it. When I say consuming it, one of the major thing is there are certain goods, services we collectively consume, like this water park, which is called public goods, or the services of a police or defense, or the public bridge. So these are all collective common goods which serves as a public goods. Okay, and here this is what we say non-rivalry, and non-exclusive. You cannot prevent others also from consuming it. Okay. Um You enjoy the defense services, the police services, the public services. You probably, as a salaried person, pay a tax for it. There are a lot of people who walk on the road, public bridge or public services without probably even not paying a price or tax for the government or local authority. The same in the case of the water park built by the local government in the village, uh, which means non-exclusivity. So hence it is a public good. Now, various, if you actually see, let us say a private authority, the same the soft drink producer creates a theme park, and he creates a recreation facility of boating in that same place. He occupies a section of the village and river area. He provides services as a water theme park to people outside or villages. The price you would obviously see when you go to a theme park will be far higher than the price which is priced by the local authority for the local people, which is means water is again serves as a what you call as a economic good here, and exclusive. Unless you pay that much of price, you cannot, probably they may raise a compound or the walls around the theme park to build it, so only people who enjoy pay the price enjoy and share the benefit of it. So it is the sharing the benefit and consumption, differentiate exclusivity and non-exclusivity between public and private goods. Now, literally, if you see, water as a product has become has taken the role of both free good, private good or economic good, and public good here. Okay, more and more we see here in our society as the economy evolves, the concept of free good is probably changing and becoming either private or public good or economic. Okay, because they sold at a price as a shareable way. In fact, the new changes, if we see here, is it sometimes it is the goods are offered as a combination of a partnership between public and private. What do you call it, as a public-private partnership? So, for example, many infrastructure projects, which are basically public goods earlier offered by the government, or even the new metro trains, which are initiated by the government, but the services offered by the private, the management of airports, and many of them are a combination of public and private, to probably serve the larger purpose of society, at the same time make it a viable and profitable. Okay, this is the way. One classic example of public good is the example of what do you call lighthouse. We all know the lighthouse serves the purpose of um, the common purpose of non-rivalry, non-excludability in the seashore by showing light to all the ships or boats around it. Okay, it is non-excludable because once provided, you can't stop anyone benefiting from the good. Okay, so if somebody benefits from the good, it doesn't reduce the amount of available to others also, non-rival. Okay, so these are the things. Few things we have to note here. Various we see an abundance of free good in the water. In the example of a river water, how would change truly to a private or economic good? How it can be looked as a public good? One of the issues is, while we saw how the private player, uh, in converting the good of water into a private good or economic good, probably ended up exploiting the resources and maybe even polluting it. And you end up paying a higher price for it, which is one of the major issues. We'll come to the discussion over a period of time. Similarly, the public, when you get a free or even as a public good, very few people pay for the benefit of public good. We have seen not everybody pays, but everybody benefits. And this issue of public good, whereas we see the case of a uh, exploitation of resources in the case of private good, whereas in the case of public good, this challenge of enjoying the benefit without even to paying for the benefit is also known as the free rider problem in economics. Okay, we'll keep discussing it. Okay, thank you.